Good morning. For the judges, I'm Joe Roth, and I'd like to second what the first speaker said. Looking good. Thank you all for coming. With so much going on in our world today, it was really hard to narrow the scope of what I wanted to talk about. But I decided that I wanted to share something with all of you that really hits home to us here in Akron, Ohio. They say that money is the root of all evil. And 9 times out of 10, a washed pot is never going to boil. But, in my opinion, sometimes you have to put the pedal to the metal and realize you can't have your cake and eat it too. And just as all is fair with love and war, here we are, hanging by a thread. Some say that all of this could have been avoided. My response? Misery does love its company. Because 9 times out of 10, the grass will always be greener on the other side. But once you get to the other side, you truly need to find the ace in the hole. And just as you are getting ready to grab that bull by its horns, the inevitable truth will unequivocally come out. You zigged when you should have zagged. I guess what they say is true. You really do have to earn your stripes. At this point, I knew exactly what they were thinking. How could it ever be possible to make both ends meet? The answer was right under their nose. Make no bones about it. If you want to be on cloud 9, you need to face the music. I get it. I get it. Please, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I would never, ever recommend that you count your chickens before they hatch. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say you need to make sure all of your ducks are in a row. Because it is after this point where you can drop the hammer, but only after this point. With all this going on right now, it would be tough to include everything but the kitchen sink. It's no wonder why laughter is the best medicine. What is really interesting, to me at least, is that when push comes to shove, the silence is truly golden. And, as we all know, he who hesitates will be lost. Second place is only first loser after all. Ultimately, this leads to being caught in between a rock and a hard place. And with 6 eggs in one basket and half a dozen in the other, there's definitely no such thing as a free lunch. As with all things, if you love something, you must set it free. And as freedom rings, one can only help but wonder if we have gone up creek without a paddle. Even if you do throw everything but the kitchen sink into the equation, you can only lead a horse to water, but you can never make it drink. And suddenly, whenever left becomes right and up becomes down, you can finally say, eat your heart out, world. The story has been told, and the rest remains unwritten. It may not all be what it's cracked up to be, but wouldn't that be the icing on the cake? In a nutshell, even a blind squirrel will find its nut once in a while. But when it all goes to hell in a handbasket, that squirrel will realize that it is neither here nor there. When in Rome, it is easy to do as the Romans do. Upon exiting Rome, though, well, apparently that is either here or there. Ultimately, to each his own, and it shall be respected. I guess the phrase, here today, gone tomorrow, has never been so true. But hey, I'm sure I'm just preaching to the choir, right? Because to err is human, but forgive, well, that's divine. And divinity is in short supply in these neck of the woods. But listen, by now, I'm sure you're all tired of hearing me complain about how LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, I'll leave on this note. It's not about how fast you get there. It's not even about what's waiting on the other side of that mountain. What it's really about is the climb. Thank you.